I'm Conrad Streeter, and I'm the principal at Colleyville Heritage High School.
I'm Karen Woodworth. I'm an assistant principal here at Colleyville.
My name is Warren Puckett. I'm a science teacher here at Colleyville Heritage High School.
And my name is Brian Bartlow. I'm the campus technician.
My name is Ed Peters, and I'm the campus monitor here at Colleyville Heritage. In my spare time, I like to work on my motorcycle and my 1957 Chevrolet that I bought as a college graduation present for myself. I have a wife that we've been married for 35 years, and I had 3 daughters, and all of them went to school here at Colleyville Heritage.
And then in my spare time, I like to hang out at the rodeo, ride bulls. I'm not doing that. Be out in the pasture riding horses, so stuff like that.
Even though I had a military life for a while, now what I do is I love to work and I collect Barbies.
I'm an avid outdoorsman. I love to hunt, ski, bike, run. If I can be outside, that's my favorite place to relax. And then my wife and I like to travel a lot.
During my spare time for fun, I play guitar. Some of you have seen me around the hallways playing guitar and banjo and mandolin and things like that. And I also ride motorcycles, and I fly different types of aircraft. I'm a licensed pilot, and I fly everything from Cessnas down to hang gliders, paragliders, and anything else I can get on and fly around on.
I was a non-commissioned officer. I was a sergeant in the United States Army, and I served for 6 years.
I'm in the Marine Corps. I served for 3 years, and I have 3 more to go. I'm on the reserve side, so that's why I'm able to have this job and still serve in the military as well.
I was a Navy Medical Corpsman, signed up and went from 73 to 77 active duty, and then another 2 years reserve after that.
I went into the Air Force right after high school, 1977, and I stayed in until 1986.
I went into the service into the Navy in September of 1972, and I served for 6 years, and I was released from the Navy in September of 1978.
I was a middle school science teacher and coach during 9/11, and when 9/11 occurred, I had several former students who decided to join because of 9/11, and I also joined at the end of that school year.
What influenced me to join the Marines was my son. I always knew that military would give me more opportunities in life, to be successful. So to better my life, I would also better his life as well. So that was one of the main reasons why I joined.
Well, in 1972, as you know from reading a lot of your history books, there was a conflict going on in Vietnam, and a lot of my friends had gone to Vietnam, and I believed that I needed to do something to serve as well. So I joined the Navy in 1972, and as you know, in 1973, with the Paris peace talks, the Vietnam era kind of came to a halt. So the hostilities continued until 1975, and I was involved in that as well.
One of the most interesting deployments that I had is during Hurricane Katrina. And even though that was a little bit different than you typically think of the Army, it was really positive because we spent 5 weeks in Louisiana and then 2 weeks on the Texas coast with Hurricane Rita. And we were able to help a lot of people who were displaced. And it was nice because it was a humanitarian mission, and we got to go down and help people with food and water and rescue missions. And on the 6 weeks that I spent on it, we rescued over a dozen people from their homes. We also transported hundreds of people, and then we also did protection and security for people who stayed during the hurricane and were protecting their property. And then we also just helped bring order back to the city of New Orleans, and that was pretty exciting to see because we got to do something really positive. Obviously, I got to travel a lot when I was in the military to foreign countries, but also here in the United States. One of the most positive things that we did, though, is we were working with anti-terrorism overseas in Europe, and while we were there training other European soldiers, we got an opportunity to help some communities that were really poor, and we actually built 3 schoolhouses and brought in thousands of pounds of school supplies and helped create schools where they had never had them before. And as a soldier, but also as a teacher, the opportunity to do the war on terrorism, but also to help kids, was probably one of the highlights of my career because we got to see the positive impact, and also foreign countries got to see us as people who were there to not just fight a war, but also to help.
I think the thing that I learned that was probably most valuable to me is that friendships forged in hardships are friendships forever. And the easy things are not always the best things you do. The things you're the most proud of are the things that you do under hardship. And my 6 years in the Navy was a hard time. And so would I do it again? Probably not. Would I trade the experiences that I had? Never.
It gave me the confidence that I knew that if I really put my mind to something, I could accomplish it. And so after I got out of the Navy, I went to college, and I knew that I could actually pass. I think a lot of kids today, and especially back in my generation, we weren't really sure whether we could pass college or not. But after the military, it builds your self-confidence up to the point where you know you can be successful if you just put your mind to it. And everybody can be, but you have to believe it. And me personally, that's what I got out of the military. That and the GI Bill paid for my college, so I really appreciate that.
Pretty much what Marine Corps instills in all the Marines is honor, courage, commitment. Pretty much to honor yourself, honor your friends, you know, courage, you know, have the courage to do what's right, stand up for what's right, and commitment, you know, always committed on what you're going to do, finish it.
The price of freedom can be really high for the men and women who serve. The things that we take for granted, things like being able to choose your job, to be able to move up into society or to do what you want from whatever background you go into, to be able to say the things that you want, to have your own opinions. We take these things for granted every day. And a lot of people have no idea what it means to go other places where that's not true. So the price of freedom is the young men and women who do join the armed forces. Because the irony is that once you join the armed forces, you give up a lot of the freedoms that you take for granted as a civilian. You know, you don't have the option of living where you want. You don't have the option of wearing what you want, wearing your hair like you want. You can't say everything that you want to. You have to follow orders. And so, and for those men and women who go into combat, they give the ultimate price. They give their lives to defend the freedoms that most of us take for granted every day.
The price of freedom really, to me, just points to the idea that with this particular nation, we have to have people that are ready, willing, and able to lay down their lives and give it in pursuit of the right to be able to have freedoms, to make up your own mind, to have your own way of life. And if you don't have people ready, willing, and able to do those tasks, this country would not be in existence as it is today. So.
Freedom's not free, and I've seen a lot of really good men and women get injured, or wounded warriors that come back without a limb, or because of PTSD, just the mental and emotional issues that they suffer, the families that have to embrace them when they come home. I was very fortunate, never got wounded, never got hurt. Several of my buddies were also very fortunate, but we had friends and loved ones that were not so lucky. And the price of freedom isn't just the soldier who doesn't come home, but also the families that have to support us while we're gone. It's very stressful when you're gone for a year at a time on the people who are at home still, and they have to carry on their daily lives worrying every day about what's happening to you. And I will tell you, America as a whole and the communities and school districts I work for were so supportive and so incredibly great to all of us when we went back and forth between our regular jobs and being deployed. I felt very blessed. I felt very honored and humbled, but the most important thing I learned is that freedom isn't free.